when you process your class,
Yes.
I think you use many activities,
Yeah.
and there is something that you prefer to use in your class.
In terms of activity?
Yeah, some activity that you prefer to use in your class, usually or normally.
A tool. That's for the kids. Yes, I'll do an activity, and if the children like it, I'll repeat it. The adult class, honestly, is the same flow. It's come in, ask them about their day, ask them to ask me some questions, go over our revolving activity. Sometimes it's poetry, sometimes it's phrasal verbs, sometimes it's some movie clip. And then we do our reading. I'll ask some discussion questions before our reading. We'll do our reading. We'll do some questions about the reading, and then I'll have another discussion question after the reading. I'll introduce the listening material. We'll have a discussion question if it's necessary. And then we do our grammar, and then I end the class with asking them what's going to happen in their life this week or this afternoon. Honest to God, it's the same. Kate knows it's the same thing. But if you do it well, there's longevity. And when I first developed it, I called it, what did I call it? It was I've called it something, but it was more of a business. I needed, in a non-academic environment, I needed a way I could continue, a revolving class maybe is what I called it. I needed a way I could continue the class, have new students join. There is not going to be a start, there's not going to be an end. The class always runs. And it was a business decision, it was a teaching decision. A lot of adult classes have this firm beginning and a firm end, and they're desperately trying to sign students up, and then they sign students up, and then they divide them into levels. It's really, it's not well designed, in my opinion. So my class is always going. It's been ongoing for 5 years, same thing for 5 years, seriously. And the students can leave, and then they can come back, and it's like they never left.
It is another question. In your class, do students interact with you more than they interact with each other? I mean, there are more than 2 people in that case?
No. If I'm doing it well, they're interacting with each other. Of course they're going to interact with me, and that's part of it. I share a lot of my life with them, and that's that's connected with my theory on language development, which is cultural relevance and comprehensible narrative. And my life, they understand. I can refer to something that's happening in my life. They know my story. They know everything. They know my family members, my parents, my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law. Every aspect of my narrative, my story, they can understand, which it helps them. Maybe that's a memory type thing. It helps them remember.
Repetition and right? It updates.
It's a story.
Oh, that's also a story.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a narrative.
Yeah. But there is a story.
John's
Remember
life.
more, right?
Yeah. John's life. And I make a point to tell them stories about my life, and it helps with their listening and understanding. Students are engaged. It's good.
When there is a student
Yes.
who is very passive about answering.
Yes.
I mean, so when there is a student like that, what is your strategy to elicit answering from students? I mean, some people are very uncomfortable, so they don't know how to do in this situation. So when someone is having a hard situation like that,
Yeah.
how do you usually help that person to say more naturally?
It's good. It's their opportunity to speak, and I'm not going to take that away from them, even if they are struggling. So I might ask them the question, they might not be able to answer, we move on, but I'm coming back. They know I'm coming back, and then they have to answer it. I don't give up on a student. So if they struggle to answer a question, we move on to the next person. But everyone knows I'm coming back to them, and they have like 60 seconds to get ready again because that's their opportunity. That's what they pay me for. If I don't give them opportunity to speak, it's not fair.
I think it also like he builds the relationship with his students so that like students can expect what like you do, right? And what you ask.
They trust me.
Come back. Yeah, that's very important, right? Like build a rapport, right?
That's important.